Where the hell am I? Where did I go? Huh. Oh, okay. Hi! It's your boy? I guess? For lack of a better term, it's your boy. And welcome to the internet. How are you, Tim? I'm doing great, Dirge. Hanging in there. Or do you prefer Lorik? I feel like I've just defaulted to saying your display name. I cheated by making my display name my name. Ah, alright. I call Dirge a lot. It reminds me of, I used to have these very odd, names on Xbox Live back in the day. Back in my Halo 3 days, I used to be called Spherical Combat. And everyone just called me Spherical, which is odd. I then changed it when I got to high school. It was an endotherm. Because that is a hot-blooded creature. I thought that was clever. And everyone just called me Endo. Then I tried to be TK-HTML for a bit. Because I was watching a lot of MKBHD, and I was taking web design courses. So I'm like, haha, I'm like, I do web code, so it's tk.html. And that evolved into whatever the hell I am now. I really like just being referred to as TK. And websites didn't let you do periods, so I spelled out dot. And then T.K. was taken on most websites. So, that's how I came to this. Fun lore. Today we're going to be doing some Monster of the Hunt variety. We're hunting them. It's been a bit since we've done some hunting of Monster. That's mostly because there's not been a lot of content. We did the big update that came out recently with the 4 new monsters. My thoughts on them are that when you get to them in story progression at MR10, they're a lot more useful than they are getting to, like, MR100, then going back to fight them. Though a lot of the armor sets still have some interesting skills to play with, which we'll talk about in a moment. Beyond that, like, there's been a total of 2 event quests, but the rest of the free updates are going to be doled out pretty slowly. I don't blame them for that. Listen, this expansion was huge. There's a ton of content. There are people who play the game less frequently than I did on all systems that probably want things to be a bit more paced out so they have the time to catch up. I'm not impatient, it's just that I've taken lots of breaks, because there's only so much you can stream the same 5 or 6 fights. But, hey, whenever they drop new content, I'm going to be right on top of it. Same with Ubits. I actually was playing my farm a little bit this morning, just because I find the game quite relaxing. The other game we're going to be looking at today is a game that I stumbled upon at complete random when logging onto the Epic Game Store, which is called Raw Men. And with that title, I had to immediately find out what the hell it was about, and I saw some trailers, and it's about people throwing soup at each other. Then I played it for a bit, and I thought, well, I gotta stream this. So we'll get to that. I'm doing 2 games because I didn't think there'd be enough for me to do in both for it to make for a particularly interesting stream if I only did one or the other. They would be pretty short otherwise. So we're doing them together in a double feature that I'm calling the Monster Soup. We're starting with Monster Hunter because, yeah. Let me just make sure that I've set the display to Monster Hunter. There we go. $260 hours on record. MR126, HR362. So I've updated my set a bit. I don't feel like I've talked about it on... I may have brought it up once or twice, and I talked about it on Twitter. But I'll show it off here. I have replaced most of the Basil set with the Lucent Narga Kuga set. And the reason I did this is exclusively for sneak attack, which, if you're not aware... No, not equipment display. There. Sneak attack increases damage to large monsters when attacks hit them from behind. At level 3, it says 12%. Some people are reporting it as high as 20%. Either way, that damage modifier affects shelling on gunlances, so it's a must-have buff now for gunlance. So I had to make some sacrifices and lose a couple of skills here and there in order to have it. So you can see my loadout here. We have Max Agitator, Handicraft, and Defiance. Now, Defiance is a new skill that is part of the Goldrathian set that gives you earplugs, wind resist, tremor resist, and a ton of defense whenever a monster's angry. Because the set already had a bunch of natural Agitator on it as well, I capped both of those, so anytime the monster is mad, I'm doing great. Lucent also had a bunch of baked-in Handicraft, so I was able to cap out Handicraft, which I didn't really need, but on this weapon, that gives me a healthy bar of pink sharpness. Like, I wouldn't describe it as a must-have. Guard has dropped down from 5 to 3. Now, there's a bunch of different pieces you can change in and out, but the one reason I have the Basil pieces that I do is because of the slots and the skills that they have. But essentially, Guard 3 is about as much as you need. Unless you're a regular Lance user and you really rely on faster counter timings, Guard 3 is more than enough to make sure that you don't drain all of your stamina with every block, and that most attacks don't send you, like, do that thing where you get knocked back while blocking, which makes getting in and out of blocking attacks much faster. The less stamina consumed and the less animation lag between blocks, the faster you can counter as regular Lance, which is great if your monster moves a lot. It doesn't matter as much on Gunlance. So if you're a Gunlance user, I recommend Guard 3 because it makes at least using the shield a bit more viable. Same with Artillery. Artillery is a mandatory skill for Gunlance. I wanted to make the level 4 decoration, and I did, but I don't have any armor with level 4 slots. Or at least none that I could make fit. So that was on me. Max Evade Extender mostly comes from the Charm. This Charm is just Max Evade Extender and Part Breaker level 1, and it has a 2 and a 1 slot, which allows me to have an extra bit of Agitator and Defiance. Guard Up, I was trying to determine whether or not I needed it. And I wanted at least one level, if not max. But the max level is 80%, and level 2 is 50. And I figured losing 30%, like, damage reduction still is an acceptable, like, ratio? I don't know. I was a sacrifice I was willing to make. Load shells is maxed out. Spread up, ammo up are from the pants, I believe. So most of the level 1 skills are stuff that I just did not put on the armor initially. Thank you for the hydration reminder, Zenosha, and thank you for dropping by. It wasn't on a delay. I was just very slow to react. The one thing that I wish I still had on this set is Protective Polish, which is the only skill that I feel would really help out here. I'm lacking in speed sharpening as well. I could get it back if I'm willing to sacrifice some level 1 slots, but because all of my level 1 slots are being reserved for Defiance, I don't want to lose that. My armor set's a mix of bug armor and the Pyre Kadaki, so I can match my weapon, because weapon pretty. Let's get into this. We're going to eat first. We all gotta watch the cutscene. Everyone knows the rules. What's the special? It's Buddy Bond. If you guys care at all, Dango Moxie is just a save you from life Fashion Souls. Exactly. Bombardier increases your shelling damage, and Fighter gives you 10 minutes of attack and defense up. I skipped the cutscene on habit. I'm so sorry. So the newest, or the very first one that I got was a Grand Gesture, which just literally teaches you a gesture. I don't care about that. I kind of care about this. Check this out. Not 1, but 2 Rajang. And you'll get a gnarly reward. That one seems steep. We're going to do Flash of Inspiration first, because Astalos is one of my favorite monsters, and I could solo this. This will let me get into some practice, because I'm feeling a little... Ooh, Arena. It has been a bit since I've played the Hunt of Monster. I just need to refresh myself here. To be clear, I don't have Protective Polish, right? No. Okay. I used to. That's why I checked, so I could, like... Now, getting behind attacks is going to be a little tricky when you're the only one fighting. But I think I can manage it. I fucked up. No, I'm fine. Where's my free potions? They taste better when they're free. Oh, I need to reapply buff. I'm just blocking, because I know he's going to do something stupid. There we go. See, 108 per shell if I hit him from behind. Versus, you can see here, in front, it's 90. So sneak attack, yeah, sneak attack is very good right now. Let me see if I can't get a bullet barrage on his butt. I can. So if you're not too familiar with Monster Hunter, and you're watching my streams, the Gun Lance is a big stick. It's basically a shotgun that you beat people to death with. And then you have a big old shield that protects you from most, if not all, things. So it's like the best tank weapon in the game. Unbiased opinion. By me. I'm working on, I've set up like a commission sheet for how I want a couple of background assets to look. And one of the things that I want for said background assets is definitely going to be I want a like wall-mounted gun lance somewhere. I was talking about that with Val on Twitter forever ago. Ooh! No, we're good, we're good. Pew! If you're also wondering what his deal is just a big dragonfly that shoots lightning. He's Xbox colors. So I learned recently that backwards dash does KO damage. This will get me into the correct position. Kitnator, yeah! Get his ass. And then we're gonna do this. Satisfying every time. Man, it's such a good game. You done with your temper tantrum? I want to hit you now. Oh, you're very good as well, Zenosha. Oh, anime moment. Alright, he's got Thunderblight, so I want to take advantage of that. Oh, never mind. My cats did. It's very cool, isn't it? Unique among the wyverns, or wyverns, whichever you prefer, is the see-through wings. No other dragon design that uses this model, this skeleton, has that kind of patterning. I need to sharpen. One of the most underrated flagships, in my opinion. Would it also not surprise you to learn that the armor set you can make from it is very Kamen Rider? All right. Okay. I'll wait for you to finish. It's no rush. There we go. We did it. Fairly quickly too. It was in under 15. Probably close to 6 or 7. Save the world. I have no idea what layered armor this makes. Very curious. yeah, how are folks doing in chat on a Sunday afternoon? Light foreign drawings. The paper scribbles some obscure drawings in foreign words. Only a single word is legible. Lien. Oh, I got a mantle. I can now forge the Lien armor set. Neat. I'd have to actually forge it. Huh. Okay. It is not my aesthetic. But it is interesting. I like the boots. I've just been getting by today. Big pain, so I can't do much. Been some by folks stream. Alright. Appreciate you hanging out. Blue Cowboy Inquisitor isn't your vibe. Hold on. Brave Hunter. Like, I'm good. I have a better cowboy outfit anyway. What I do want to make is the horns. But that would require... Now we're going to watch the cutscene. Someone made a really interesting observation about food in Monster Hunter. Oh? Oh! By interesting, I mean fair, super cursed. Fair. Cursed is interesting. I don't want to do this by myself. 2 Furious Rajang in the arena. Yeah, nah, I'm going into multiplayer for that one. Oh yeah, no, I think about that all the time. There's no hairnets. Alright, Persephone is down here with a bow and arrow, doing her best. Against 2 angry monkeys. Ah! No! Use the fence! Shit! I used Fortify too. I wish Fortify was still level 1 decoration skill. Come on, come on. These monkeys hurt. Thankfully, they're hostile to each other. And us. God. Hi, Persephone. You gonna... You coming? Oh. Like, as adorable as it is in Monster Hunter World, thinking about the cat hair, as adorable as it is to see all the little cats making bread, that bread is like 30% hair. That is a generous assumption. Just gonna keep drinking a potion. Maybe because the cats can talk, right? Maybe they've evolved to a point where it is just hair and not fur. Ooh, he's rideable. If you order them food without hair. Alright, come on. Reset aggro. Alright, we're hurting it. Oh god. Oh god, oh no. Oh god, oh no. Oh no, oh god. Cat hair adds texture. It's a delicacy around these parts. Maybe it has properties. The cats secrete a neurotoxin. And it's in their fur. All I could think to do in that moment. Throws off the consistency. Man, it's rough to think about because, like, okay, most food in Monster Hunter games is like, you know, just meat and beer and whatever, and occasionally they have like a specialized food for the cutscene. The one best example I can think of is in Generations on the 3DS. It was fondue. So just imagining fondue covered in hair. Cat hair flan. None of this is good. This makes me think of like a Bringing with Bimbish style person who's gonna make accurate Monster Hunter meals and then just sprinkles it with cat hair as he goes. We're gonna try that again. No, not solo. Not solo. Send join request. This fight scares me. Just slide it in quietly. That was an accident. Well, someone doesn't get potions. I'll wait a minute here for some folks to funnel in. Because multiplayer is scaled until people join, I think. Monkey. Yeah, Rajang is rough. I don't know how else to describe him. He is a rough animal to fight, to interact with. Furious Rajang is worse. Kana Hashimoto. Do they see me? Are they going to attack me from here? Oh, longsword user. All right, we're going in. And he's dropping the drugs. I mean, I guess here's the other question, too. Do you think that cats making food would be exceptionally good at making biscuits? I need to drink a potion. Alright, you want to do anime shit at Rajang. I believe in you. Dough in general, yeah. Knocked him out. That's free damage. Ooh. Are you really? Okay. Good job. Thanks, Kana. I was mid-attack animation. My shelling don't do a lot of damage to Rajang. I can't see. That's natural. Ooh. Alright, now the big one attacks the little guy. I don't know which one's weaker right now. I don't think it matters. Yeah, even with buffs, I think I'm only really doing about 80 or 90 per shell versus the 108 that I was doing to Astalos. This guy's a thicker boy. It follows the From Software rule, where the closer a monster is to your size, the more terrifying it is in general. The closer you get to just a player, that was awful. I was stunned in a corner and died. The closer you get to just the size of the player, the worse the fight is definitely going to be. You think about, you know, Ceaseless Discharge, size of the whole arena. Funny name, but very easy fight. The exception to the rule is Pinwheel. Oh, I didn't reload. Alright, closer to 93. I just need to actually be in position. Wow, nice. Alright, one is a bit easier to manage. He just needs to sit still for me. That's why I kept getting hit, is I'd be stuck in animation lock. It's like I'm a Dragoon in Final Fantasy. I don't want to talk about that. I back hopped into a lightning bolt and died. That guy is going to be pissed. Also, thank you for the hydration reminder. Maybe it is Titan Extreme. No, it's, Ramuh. Maybe Sephiroth. Fun fact, and I tell this story every time I fight Rajang, but, in an interview, asking Yoshi P directly, like, about the Rathalos fight in 14, a player asked, like, I'm a fan of both Monster Hunter and Final Fantasy, and I wanted to know if you had the choice to include any other monsters from Monster Hunter in Final Fantasy and, like, integrate into a Final Fantasy boss fight, which one would you pick? And Yoshi P did say Rajang. He said he would actually like to see how Rajang would translate in Final Fantasy. It was during the Shadowbringers press events. Because a bunch of content creators got to ask Yoshi P like 2 or 3 questions because there was a translator present. I remember there was an interesting one too that Very Merry asked Yoshi P about. In PSO2 there was a 14 collab, and they expressed that there was going to be PSO2 items in 14, but he decided against it because it was Japanese exclusive. And then he asked, like, with the news of it coming out on Xbox, would it be possible for that event to actually happen on Final Fantasy again? And all Yoshi P could really say is just like, that's a good question. don't want to fight those things by myself, but you know what? Nothing ventured. Oh, me too. I'm very excited for 16. I may never play it. I just want to see it. Also finally got my account back after some fun complications with my old phone. It turns out the process of dying. Turns out the process of changing your security key is a lot easier than I assumed it was going to be. The one barrier right now is just affording a sub. Which means I think I missed out on a couple of events. I definitely missed out on the summer event. Which I'm a little disappointed by, because the outfit was kind of cute. You know what? I've been meaning to jump back in. Oh, because there's the new raid tier. I'm not a raider. But the new raid tier stuff looks neat. That also means that the old raid stuff is uncapped. And, hey, Mecha, we're talking about Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 14, specifically. One of the weapons for Warrior from the first 4 raids of Endwalker is a hammer, and I love it. I also need to run... Okay, now that people are level 90, you could probably small party Stormblood Alliance raids, right? Because I want to get some people together to do some Evilise for glam. Who wants to run Rita-Run a Lighthouse on repeat until I get my full tank set? At 90 with Tombstone gear, probably. Yeah, exactly. I remember a while back I tried to solo Bahamut, but there's actually a couple of fights that require party mechanics. You can't just bullshit your way through them. I haven't played since the numbers rework. So I learned the level that you need to get the next star rating of Anomaly Quest, to get 5-star Anomaly. You need to be level 80. I'm level 52 currently. I doubt I'm going to find any quests. We'll check. There's no real reason to get to... Oh. There's no real reason to get to level 80 or beyond for Anomaly quests unless you're desperate for curious crafting materials. No, yeah, that's true. I might try it at some point. I just need to resub. Rick Gunfire. That's a good name. I've been meaning to resub because they've apparently added... Oh, thank you. They've apparently added, Hildebrand quests to Endwalker, and I want to do them. Hildebrand is... I will go on record as saying that the Hildebrand questline, from beginning to end, but especially through Stormblood, is one of my favorite MMO questlines, period. I understand why they don't do it anymore, because it's a little annoying to make a side quest mandatory for roulettes, but I do miss the fights. I mean, I miss Gilgamesh, but I also miss, like, Ultros, which was a lot of fun. Big sleepy tiger. I like Barioth a whole lot more in this game compared to World, where he tanked your frame rate every time he spit out tornadoes. I feel bad for people who don't get the Hildebrand content. I feel like some of the humor isn't to folks' taste, and that's fine. I mean, I didn't want to massage an old man for 10 minutes either. But there's parts of the Hildebrand story that I absolutely love. I still have screenshots on my Imager from way back in the day doing Stormblood content. And one of them is from the quest. The Hildebrand quest, and one of the items you find just on the ground is just titled plot-relevant gloves. It's great. Yeah. It's sad they can't enjoy it. Yeah. I also feel like some of the humor is also a little bit, I don't know how to place it. It reminds me of an anime that I can never remember the name of. That was like also like a very like goofy comedy anime thing. Oh, in the Heavensward one, you rub oil on an old man. You basically massage him asleep and steal his clothes. I refuse to give context to that bit. Even in context, it's still a little odd. Anyone else got bombs? Classic Nissan, Dokoro-chan, Nichijou. Yeah. I can't think of the specific one. It had, like, samurai in it. I'll Google it after this fight, because I feel like if I... No, not Samurai Flamenco. was all over Tumblr at one point. I'm sad I'm blanking on it. I should just watch more anime in general. I feel like I'm one of the only VTubers who isn't big into anime. I did meet Vivi. Okay, that quest chain is actually quite good in my opinion, especially since it ends in the little MS Paint drawing on that one building in Idleshire. So this monster is infected with something, and it's covering him in red bugs, and when we slap the red bugs off of him, it makes him weaker. But if we don't do it, he explodes and kills us all. I'm just stuck in his butt here. Now, hold on. I'm going to search this up. Gintama is what I was thinking of. I feel like a lot of the comedy in Hildebrand quests remind me of Gintama. Also, I'll just say it. I am still sad that you can't get the giant frying pan as a weapon. I won't explain the context of that bit either. There's a bit where one character hits another character with a giant frying pan. And I want it to either be a warrior axe or a Dark Knight sword. I don't care which. If it is a Dark Knight sword, I'll become a Dark Knight main. Although I threatened to become a Dark Knight main after they released the Kanabo. Because I fucking love Kanabo. Are they practical weapons? No. Are they cool because they're just giant metal baseball bats covered in spikes? Yes. Warrior deserves a lot of things. I mean, for one, Warrior also deserves a Kanabo, I think, because he's now the only tank class... Okay, Paladin doesn't have one. But Gunbreaker? To get the buff they deserve. I don't know a whole lot about, like, too much of the warrior changes outside of the fact that Overpower is now no longer a cone, which is honestly kind of nice. I would have accepted if they removed targeting from Overpower. I would have accepted that. Like, it stayed a conal AoE, but it was just front-facing the character. I would have accepted that as the change. But for them to say, no, don't worry. It's an AoE like Flash and all the other aggro attacks. Like, that was great. I've been a warrior main since Heavensward, since I started playing the game. The cone for aggro was fundamentally unsound. I agree. It was the only tank that did it. And it was awkward. And you had to aim it. And like in Heavensward, I remember having to cross-class Flash just to pull aggro. Well, that was also because I was constantly fighting for aggro, even with tank stance on. And you didn't use mana for anything else. I feel like some people would complain about the removal of, like, class distinction from the more, like, as the classes are evolving as they play. I remember when I kept selling aggro as Red Mage. Like, the fact that we have 4 tanks now, and 2 of them are based around a buff window in their GCD. Like with how Paladin has, what was it, Fighter Flight? And Gunbreaker has No Mercy, and you're basically designed to fit a huge damage window in that buff length. And then Dark Knight became Warrior, and they're both built around doing as many big attacks in Rage Timer. When I started, I wanted Rogue, so I went with Pugilist. I started with Marauder and then became Warrior. Then when I played back in the day, you actually had to level multiple classes. So I did have to level Pugilist for Second Wind. I also had to level I had to level Marauder. Not Marauder, Gladiator for a bunch of skills as well. It's wilding how much tanking has changed. Yeah. Same with healing. Since Sage happened, how many like changes happened to Astrologian? I don't like their decision to basically make 2 healers shield and 2 healers regen. I wish that Sage and Astro stayed as hybrids, and that they could switch between and suit whichever situation. Oh yeah, you needed blood for blood. I remember being mad that DPS stole an ability from Warrior. Like, jokingly mad. It was the... What was it called? It was basically the thing that healed you on hit. Bip. I'm blanking on it. I made Astrologian for a bit before Shadowbringers, so I got to experience the last of the old card system. I thought it was kind of neat. I do like that Sage is at least... I have not played Sage. I know people who have, but I've not talked to them too much about the Sage experience. They just seem to enjoy it. My outside understanding as someone who doesn't play healers is that your healing affects your DPS, at least partially. So, like, being an active combatant as well as a healer is a good balancing act for that class. Man, I realized I've only ever streamed... It's the funniest story. I've only streamed Final Fantasy XIV once. And in that stream, I mentioned I never played Nier. And then one of my viewers bought me Nier Automata to play on stream. Because I said if they did buy it for me, I would play it. Oh, I ate. Okay. The Nier streams were fun, except for the fact that Nier did not like running on my computer. I get it now. Listen. I for the longest time, I assumed that, like, Nier Automata and Dark Souls, right? They're games that, like, your friends would never shut up about because they were that good. And then you think to you become jaded hearing all your friends talk about it, like, there's no way it's that good. There's no way. They're hyping this up. It's not going to be that great. Then you play it, and then you get it. I don't think it's, like, the best game ever made, but I see where their love of it comes from. The philosophy and the writing... I walked away from that game almost in tears. Like, I understand. I got to ending... Like, the one where you delete your save. I forget the name of the ending, but I went through most of them. Oh, I get it. There's a particular image that comes to mind with that. It's a meme image. From Madoka Magica, from a board. And it's just this of Madoka going, I know now. Wait, my screen is on top of the monitor. There we go. I know now. God. What was it, like Muguka or whatever? It's like a goofy name. Yeah, Maguka's suffering. Such a useful image. So we got Kobatsu, Kuren, and Candy Tempest. I didn't check what we were... Oh, Rathian. Oh, this will be a breeze. I remember watching... Madoka in high school anime club. That's a weird... It's a weird one to watch with a group, is all I will say. I didn't get too far into the first season. I didn't hate it, it just didn't gel with me. Honestly, I think at the time I thought it was too edgy. It's like, ooh, it's a magical girl anime, but what if it was sad and gory? Like, alright, man. I know it's not that, but that was my perception of it as a teenager. Maybe I was salty because they killed my favorite character in the first 3 episodes. I understand why it needs to exist and why it's an interesting anime to watch. Can't even remember the last time I watched an anime. I joke that like the last one I sat down and watched was I watched season 1 of Little Witch, then watched oh god. I watched season 1 of Little Witch, then watched Devilman Crybaby on Netflix, then watched season 2 of Little Witch. But like, since then I've also watched what the hell is it called? Like Club Jellyfish? What a whiplash. I will tell you, it's very funny getting through season 2 of Little Witch after watching Devilman, because it makes you assume the worst from every episode. Because like season 2 is when stuff ramps up. That's when the missiles were going off. I was so certain it was like, man, this is this is the end, huh? I would say that's like tonal whiplash in Little Witch itself, but this is a trigger anime, so of course there's going to be a bit where stuff gets dark for a bit. Oh, they weren't my very first. They were just the ones I watched recently. I think, oh, it was Princess Jellyfish. That was the other one I watched, like, after that one. I watched it in a Discord call with my friend after she talked me into it, and it was very cute. It made me cry a little. Where do people get those shorts? Look at those pants. No, is that the lean set on women? Because I like the striped panties. That's adorable. I've not seen the Little Witch anime. Is it good? I recommend it. It's a bunch of adorable lesbians living their best life. The game is okay. Yeah.
Suka.
What did you just say? Suka. Ooh, I got it. What did I get? I skipped through it too quick. I got a new household decoration. I need to see it. Oh, neat. My favorite is the description for the Malzeno statue here. A gift for the lucky hunter won the grand prize. Some say hunting is easier. The drop rate on house decoration items from the lottery is stupid low. So it's always a nice surprise. Yeah, no, I just remember playing the Little Witch game when I went to go visit my friend. This was in, must have been around 2016, thereabouts. Maybe? Either 2016 or 2018. Yeah, it must have been 2018, because that's when, or Chamber of Time came out in 2017, which is the Little Witch game. Little Witch Academia had a side-scrolling beat-em-up on the PS4, and it was fine. I remember playing it when I was visiting her, and it was like the funniest detail in it, or there's two interesting details. One is that it has animated scenes for its own like internal story. Actually, I own it on Steam. Nice. The other detail is that Akko has 1 intelligence, which is my favorite little bit. Because there's RPG stats for all the characters. Akko is not my favorite character from Little Witch, but she is adorable. My favorite character is the tech witch. Constance. Susie is great. I'm not going to deny her appeal, but I love Constance. Also, one of my friends made a very good case for Amanda, because she gets a cross-dressing episode, and she looks so fucking good in a suit. Let's just keep doing some Anomaly. We'll do one more, and then we'll try our luck at the monkeys again. Because I'm feeling a little bit more confident. I remember the joke with Constance. Well, Constance doesn't talk. She's I think she's selectively mute. Definitely autistic coded. But my favorite detail with her is that everyone else rides brooms and she rides on a Roomba. Also, there's a bit where you make a one of the better episodes of the anime involves Constance, and I don't want to spoil it for when it comes up, but just to remind folks that Little Witch Academia is made by Trigger. And if you're familiar at all with Trigger's anime history, then and are a fan of previous animes that Trigger has made, you'll get a kick out of their episode. Speaking of, really curious about the Cyberpunk anime. Saw that trailer the other day, and don't know what's going on, but I want to. hesitant since CDPR is involved. True. As long as they're not writing it. I remember watching Kiki streaming 2077, and I was always very hesitant to the game. It doesn't seem like in itself it's terrible. It's just kind of mediocre. Mediocre. But, you know, there's the transphobia. Doesn't come across in the game, but it's definitely present in the development studio. There is actually a character you interact with in the game who is canonically trans, from what I can tell. And you get her car, and it's just a big old truck with trans flags all over it, which is kind of sick. Not seen any anime in a hot minute. A friend has gotten me into this isekai about a teen who got sold to a demon and is ascent through demon power structures by being super wholesome. I feel like that description is a setup for a joke about, like, a show that already exists. I know it's not. Like, that actually does sound like a cute anime. Just in my head, I imagined how you could word a lot of things as being like, oh, I saw this really good anime. It's an isekai where the Grim Reaper has to live with these annoying children. What's it called? Billy and Mandy. There's a streamer that I follow on Tumblr and on various other sites, but it's where I discovered them. And she's been talking up this one isekai that's very trans. She's sleeping. It's like I reincarnated as a total bombshell or something like that. I don't remember the full name. But the plot is that these two dudes get isekai, but one of them, when sent back, turns into this girl and is pretty comfortable with it and actually really likes it. But also, both of them are struggling with the idea that they're attracted to each other. The one thing I appreciated is that in the manga, the author basically just said, like, I hope I'm awakening something in someone. Alright, we used way too many flash pods. We're not going to get her out of the air. Is this going to hit? Yes. Lottery box. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? Whirlwind Assault. That fireball just missed me. I'll find the name of the anime here in a moment. There we go. Now, did we cut the tail? No. Okay. I thought we did. I saw parts broken and I thought the tail got chopped off. Yeah, here's the article here. It's abbreviated to Fabiniku. Life with an ordinary guy who reincarnated into a total fantasy knockout. It's a manga series written by Yu Surasaki and illustrated by Shin Izawa. It's been serialized, and it became an anime in 2022, March 2022. There's only 6 episodes right now, but there is a lot more. Oh no, there's 6 volumes of the manga and 12 episodes of the anime. But I have heard it's very good. It's a like I said, a lot of the major plot is balancing around these two best friends realizing they're in love with each other, and the other friend realizing, like, gender. But my favorite detail about it is just how gremlin-y this woman is. She got sharp teeth. She's adorable, though, like, little fangs. And yeah, her best friend is Markiplier. And is obviously very horny for her, but is afraid to admit it because they've been best friends for years. Look at them. Oh yeah, and that's what she looked like before getting isekai'd. So, you know, it's made her feel more confident and happier. It's adorable. I have to watch it at some point. Little gremlin with a big, handsome BF. Yeah. One of the cuter scenes that I've been spoiled for me, though I don't know the whole context, is that, like, she's sad about something. And then he, like, walks up to her and just showers her in compliments, but says it deadpan, like, fists clenched, and is just reciting these compliments to the point of her going to tears. It's adorable. I think I'm ready for monkeys. I want to kill this monkey. I've been spoiled on what the layered armor is. It's a set of horns. And I mean, like, look at me. I need them. It's my brand. What am I without these horns? I'm Harry Dubois from Disco Elysium. Honestly, with my drinking habits, I'm not too far off. Thank you. Ah, yeah, no problem. Oh shit, it's Berserk. Whee! He's gonna move. I know it. No, he's just gonna interrupt my attack. I'm gonna reboot my Disco Elysium stream soon. Stick with it now that I'm somewhat better placed emotionally. Hell yeah. I felt like Disco Elysium... It was so funny when I streamed it, because I don't remember who said it. It was either Willow or someone else rated me while I was streaming it. And they said, this is a weird game to stream. And so I felt a little, like, insecure about streaming it, but I'm so glad that I did, mostly because I have a clip of me reacting to Kim being adorable. No spoilers for people who haven't played, but there's a specific line delivery that is said where it's like, the detective gives you a smile only you can see. And I basically started crying when I read that. But no, Disco Elysium is a fantastic game, and I highly recommend it. My playthrough is definitely going to be different from someone else's, because I went for a very empathetic kind of character. Bit of a softie. I also went full gay communist and didn't drink or do drugs. Someone else want to give him a ride? Yeah, okay. But I think that's the interesting thing about games like that, is there's a bunch of games that feel like they'd be difficult to play on a stream, but they still translate pretty well. Because your experience is not going to be everybody's experience. Even with how, like... I was in the middle of drinking a potion! Even with how direct the storyline is, your experience of it is not going to be identical. There are decisions I wish I could reverse. One of them definitely being the decision to shave Harry's beard. I wish I didn't do that. In my head, my decision to do it was to symbolize a Harry who has changed, and, like, learned from his mistakes and is going to try to be a better, cleaner person. In reality, Kim hated it, and he looked terrible. What I also love is some of the delivery in that game, where I decided to study the thought of the homosexual agenda, or whatever. No, it was the homosexual underground. And I thought, like, this isn't going to lead anywhere, but why not? I'll add that to my to my mind palace. And then I complete the thought, and it's just like, you now no longer care about other people's sexuality. And then your brain is like, you should tell Kim about this. And you're like, hey, Kim, I don't care about other people's sexuality. He's just like, good for you? It is funny to imagine, though, that Harry, in the process of getting blackout drunk and doing a large amount of drugs in a depressive state, decides after his coma that he wants to be gay. Never played Disco. I highly recommend it, especially now. I feel like it was a... Wow, we did it. I feel like it was a harder recommend when it was all text-based, but the voice acting is not only fantastic, it makes some of the larger blocks of text a lot easier to get through. Not to criticize the game for being a thick read, but... Man, if I didn't have narration, that would be a harder game to get through. That narrator, though. That voice is so sexy to me. There's something about his delivery.
Real because it was too much.
Lenval Brown is the name of the name of the narrator. But his delivery is so good.
Officer, I'm sure you are familiar with the concept. We've had these for nearly a century.
That was Kim. I'm trying to find... It's hard to explain. He just has such the silky smooth voice. It's beautiful. I guess I can try to find the one-line delivery that killed me. It's in my clip somewhere. Just trust me when I say that, like, the voice acting is top tier. And I'm so glad that there is voice acting, because I would not want to read any of the racist shit out loud, even if it's for made-up countries and shit. It's just made me so uncomfortable to be around. Right, but I should have the ingredients now make the Curio crown. Let's get naked. So that's pigment 1. Pigment 2 is the back of it. Okay. I think what I want to do with the back of it is I want to make it gold. I should have a set of armor with gold hints. This, basically. And then the horns themselves, I kind of have as like a dark shade like this, but I have a hint of very dark blue. That's my horn color, 100%. Now, what armor do I pair that with? I mean, I do have the Guild Palace set, which is very much a statement of I did it. If I want to be accurate to my character, probably be closer to that. So I'd want a long sleeve. Am I going to deliberate over this? Yes. We're going to make all the metal bits the same. Kind of a silver, because I like silver. It's my favorite Sonic character. Though, if I had to be real, take that color. Yeah. I want to use like a... Yeah. It's me. I have a... Okay. I do have a lot of saved layered armor sets. I have made a lot of outfits in this game. Including Goku. That one is no layered armor. That's Warrior Cowboy. This one I thought was cute, because it's a combination of like Professor and the Knight sets. I called it Royal Gunman because I thought it looked like a machinist kind of vibe. Combination of the Yukumo and the Kimura sets. I don't know if you heard that through the mic. Dude just drove past. Fancy. Let's mess around with some Sword and Shield. Do some anomaly quests and whatnot. Then we'll switch off. And do some raw men. We're gonna raw some men live on stream. So stick around for that. I refuse to elaborate. I do actually really like these horns. I think they look great. Hunt all monsters. What? We got Draith here. Rocking the gun lance. Guess he's grabbing birds. I didn't eat. I'm a fool. I actually really like how Sword and Shield flows. I'll be real. It's a lot of fun. Gunlance is still my main and still my favorite weapon, but I also worry that it's not the most showy. Like, it doesn't seem like I do a whole lot with it on stream. I just kind of press... I kind of repeat a combo over and over again. I mean, here I am saying the weapon that explodes every 5 seconds doesn't feel like it's very interesting to watch. That's just my my bad brain talking. What are we gonna fight first, guys? We have to hunt all monsters. Unanimously, we have decided on Magnamalo, which is fair, because, yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with him later. People like explosions. True. I learned recently that, like, Gunlance is probably one of the least popular weapons in Rise. At least in base Rise. I don't know if that's changed since Sunbreak. Especially with the advent of sneak attack. That's spicy. let's slap some fools. Slap me out of the air with his butt. Woo. You're wondering why I was just standing there. I don't know either. I thought I got a KO off that. I did not. I need to remake my sword and shield set. Because right now it's just very bare bones. But I wouldn't mind integrating the bits. Like, I made this set before the update, so integrating the sneak attack bits would probably be good. Though I don't know how useful, and I say that because with Sword and Shield, for me at least, I like going for KOs. Come huff snail farts. I don't think I will. So, like, hitting the head with shield attacks is definitely something that I like taking advantage of with Sword and Shield. I don't know how well Sneak Attack would work with Insect Glaive, but it could work. Alright, so 3 monsters. One of them is Magnamalo, the other is Gosharag. What would the last one be? Oh, it's Kezu. Well, you know. Fair. Oh, you want to ride him? You want to ride Kezu of all monsters? Where is Kezu? There's Kezu. Get back here. So yeah, Kezu doesn't have a theme. It's just silence. Folks unfamiliar? Because, you know, the combat doesn't start until the monster sees you, but Kezu's blind. It's poetry, it rhymes. As George the Lucas might say. Yeah, it's poetry. It rhymes. Kaku! I'm gonna die. Let me eat a sticky boy. Let me grab some pale extract. I'll throw a beetle at him. Free KO. I died. I wasn't paying attention. I can admit that. I was focused. I didn't notice my health. I also did notice my sharpness. Oh, he's just gonna go into that cave. There's an entrance right here. Okay. Listen. It's hard out there. And I'm not very smart. But I'm doing my best. I'm using a weapon that I'm not the most familiar with to try to make things a bit more dynamic. Oh, I missed! See, I can use other weapons, is the other thing I was trying to demonstrate here. Is like, yeah, I can do things. Hey, we did it. Sick. Man, I'm feeling lightheaded. I might have to eat something after this while we transition to the next game. Food's important, kids. It's a lesson I learned, both that too much food is bad, but also too little is bad. I had a weird brain moment last night, and I was just feeling kind of off. And I decided, hey, you know, it'd be funny. Or, like, I was craving something sweet, and I thought, I'll make myself some pancakes. And I had never made pancakes before. So it was the very first time I sat down and make pancakes all by myself, like an adult. And I'll be real, I made too many. And I got very sick trying to eat all of the pancakes I made at 2 o'clock at night. All those attacks missed. Also, I'm sick now. Yeah. Oh, I meant like my character was sick because I had poison. I'm fine. I'm just hungry. And also, maybe I didn't get enough sleep. Who can say? Now, we're supposed to be getting some new monsters soon. We did get a trailer for Flaming Espinas. I'll mention the new monsters here as we're kind of nearing the end. I don't know what the other monster is going to be, because it's supposed to be 2. All I know is that Flaming Espinas is probably going to be a rough fight. And we should be expecting that mid-September. I need to sharpen. Well, off he goes. Whee! Epically done. God. GG. I do like that buff cat. That's a good sticker. I'm not going to. I'll do it at 10 seconds. They can't be mad at me. Level 58. Slowly but surely. Multi-monster hunts are always fun, though. How many coins do I have now? I have 40. Okay. Get a Rajang heart if I wanted to. But what I want to do right now is I want to take a second. We're going to transition into the other game here, which is ramen. We're going to transition to ramen. But speaking of ramen and my stomach and myself, I'm going to make some quick food. And I will be right back. Shouldn't be too long. Don't go anywhere. Just leave me muted in a tab while you do other stuff. I'll let you know when I get back. But yeah, I'll take a second to eat, because I didn't. Alright, one moment. Wrong screen. I'm back. If you're curious about what I ate, it was an omelet, because we just really only have eggs in the house. I think my folks are gone for the weekend, and we didn't buy groceries, which I'm not going to blame them for. It's just like, we just didn't have any in the house. So, what we had on hand were eggs. Lots of eggs. So I made a little omelet, and it was nice. I ate it too fast, though. I'm good. Almost gave myself hiccups. But we're fine. Didn't want to eat on stream. Egg, exactly. Didn't want to eat on stream, so you didn't sign up for chewing in your ear. Speaking of food, though, we're going to be jumping into Raw Men.